Welcome friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are discussing about the theodolite traversing. In the previous session we have discussed about the basics of theodolite traversing. In that session we are discussing about the permanent adjustment of theodolite traversing, permanent adjustment of theodolites and various part arrangements, and closing error which are occurred during the theodolite traversing. In the previous session, we are discussing about the temporary adjustment of theodolite. In that session, we are discussing about the permanent adjustment of theodolite. Why it is required? Because we have to establish the relationship between the fundamental lines. We are knowing that vertical axis is truly perpendicular to horizontal axis. So we have to adjust that particular axis with respect to each other. So our instrument give the great accuracy and work is done by properly. We have to adjust the sum of the parameters like vertical axis, horizontal axis and Trunnion axis, or line of collimation or line of sight, axis of plate level, axis of altitude level and axis of striding level if provided. Right? So we are first moving to the adjustment of vertical axis or adjustment of horizontal plate level. Right? We are moving to the adjustment of horizontal plate level. What is the desired relationship? The instrument axis should be vertical when the bubble is at the center of its run. We are knowing that the vertical axis is truly perpendicular to the horizontal axis. And what is the objective of permanent adjustment? To make the vertical axis truly vertical. Right? Vertical axis is vertical, but it is truly vertical when we are set up that axis with respect to horizontal axis perpendicularly. So this type of vertical axis is called truly vertical. What is the necessity? To horizontal circle and horizontal axis both are truly perpendicular to vertical axis. How can we set up? That is, test is that set and level the instrument at two positions right angle to each other. After that, turn the telescope 180 degree. If bubble remain central, adjustment is correct. Or if bubble R changes, then we have to adjust the bubble tube with the leveling screw. Right? One of that screw has been provided for the bubble tube adjustment. Repeat the procedure until there is no error. Next thing, adjustment of line of sight. The, the line of collimation must be normal to the horizontal or the Trunnion axis and coincide with the optical of the telescope. We have to make adjustment by two steps. First, adjustment of horizontal hair and adjustment of vertical hair. Because we have to sighten our object by bisecting our object and vertical hair with respect to parallelly. Adjustment of horizontal hair. What is the objective of horizontal hair? Is called bring horizontal hair into the horizontal plane through optical axis. And what is the necessity? Necessity is that the direction of line of sight doesn't change while focusing. Because if line of sight change, their reading also change. We can test the line of collimation coincide with the optical axis. Second adjustment, adjustment of horizontal hair. Set the instrument at O and keep leveling staff S at 100 meter apart and take staff reading and reading on the vertical circle. Unclamp the lower plate and transit telescope and swing it to 180 degree. Set the same reading on vertical circle. If the reading obtained on staff adjustment is correct, otherwise we have to adjust the horizontal hair by top and bottom capstan screw of the diaphragm until the staff reading minus H1 plus H2 by 2. So we have to set up our instrument in such a way that both the staff interval with respect to its middle air are same. Second adjustment is adjustment of vertical air. Make the line of collimation perpendicular to horizontal axis. Previously, we are setting the horizontal axis truly horizontal. After that, we are moving to the our adjustment of vertical air. What is the necessity of adjustment of line of sight? Necessity is that transit generate vertical plane, not cone. Because when we are moving our telescope in transit position, it should generate the cone. So our vertical axis are not truly perpendicular to the horizontal axis. So we have to test it particular adjustment, and after that not properly, so we have to adjust that phenomena. Line of collimation perpendicular to the horizontal axis. Set the instrument at C and side O at 100 meter away. After that, we have to level the instrument and bisect to O and lock the plates. Transit the telescope and sight to all and place a vertical mark at P. Repeat for other face and make mark Q such that 1 by 4 PQ. So our distance is 1/4 of PQ. Using the side capstan screw of diaphragm, bring a vertical to image of S. So our vertical air is truly vertical with respect to horizontal air. Adjustment of horizontal axis. This adjustment is also called as spire test. That types of adjustments are done for horizontal axis make perpendicular to the vertical axis. We have to do that adjustment by using the line of collimation perpendicular to the horizontal axis. Set the instrument at 50 to 60 meter away from the tower and bisect the point T such that angle is 30. So our sighted angle is 60, right? Our sighting angle is 60, so that our tower angle is 30. After that, we have to lower the telescope and sight point P1 near the ground. Change the phase and bisect T again. Lower the telescope if point of ground is same P1, then the adjustment is correct. If not, second point P2 is set and P1 into P2 is equal to 2E. Right? P1 plus P2 is equal to 2E. The distance between them is 2E. So we have to adjust that distance. For adjustment, by raising or lowering one end of the horizontal axis using the adjustment screw until the line of sight falls on the same ground point. That adjustment screw are giving on the frame of telescope. Adjustment of axis of telescope level or altitude level. How can we adjust the axis of telescope level or altitude level? Make axis of altitude level parallel to the line of collimation. That is the objective of our adjustment. Now place the two pegs P and Q driven at D distance apart. Set the theodolite at O midway between P and Q. Level it and take staff readings on P and Q. Compute the level difference which is true as O midway between P and Q, rise or fall determined. Shifted the theodolite At P1 and distance near P, level it. Take a reading P1 and Q1. If P minus Q is equal to P1 minus Q1, adjustment is OK. In second step, let E be the snap reading at Q. At the same level of P1, then E is equal to P1 plus or minus 2 difference, plus for fall and minus for rise. If Q1 is greater than E, then line of collimation upward and vice versa. Collimation error is equal to Q1 minus E. Correction at P is called E1. E1 is equal to D multiplied by Q1 minus E by D, and correction at Q is equal to E2 is equal to D plus D Q1 minus E by D. Corrected staff reading on P is equal to P1 plus or minus E1, and on Q is equal to Q1 plus or minus E1. Plus when line of collimation inclines the downward and vice versa. Crosses are adjusted by raising or lowering the diaphragm. Adjustment of vertical circle reads 0. Objective is that vertical circle reads 0 when line of collimation is horizontal or telescope bubble is center. And that adjustment is not a very important types of adjustment, but it is done for our convenience only for leveling purpose. It test is also called as altitude bubble test. Set up a theodolite level plate bubble, centered altitude bubble by vertical circle tangent screw, and read the vertical circle reading. If it is 0, then OK. If not, down the reading which should be added or subtracted from the vertical angle measurement. Vertical circle reading adjust to 0 by clip screw. During the altitude bubble, move up the center. It brought center by capstan screw. Now we are moving to the horizontal angle measurement. There are three types of methods used for horizontal angle measurement. One is the ordinary method, second is the repetition method, and third is the reiteration method. We are studying about the ordinary method. First, we have to set up the theodolite at the station point O and level it accurately. Set the vernier A to 0 or 360 degree of the horizontal circle and tighten the upper screw. After that, we have to loosen the clamp, turn the instrument and direct the telescope towards the A to bisect it accurately with the use of tangent screw. After bisecting the accurately check the reading, which must still read 0. Read the vernier B and record both the reading. After that, we have to loosen the upper clamp and turn the telescope clockwise until the line of sight bisect point B on right hand side. Then tighten the upper clamp and bisect it accurately by turning it tangent screw. Read both the verniers. The reading of the vernier A, which was initially set at 0, gives the value of angle AOB directly, and the vernier gives by deducting 180 degree. The mean of two vernier reading gives the value of required angle AOB. After that, we have to change the phase and repeat the same procedure we are previously followed. And mean of the both phase reading, that gives the accurate value of our reading, and their changes is not more, so our instrumental error is 0. See in the table is that we have taken reading from A station and between the object E and B and angle EAB from face left. Vernier A reading is 0 and 0 to 120 and 180 to 300. Angle on vernier is 120, 20, 20 and 120, 20, 40. and mean of vernier is 120, 20, 30. After the changing of phase, we are getting the reading 0, 120, 20, 40, 180, 300, 20, 0, and we are getting the angle of 120 degree 20 minute and 40 second, and one near B 120 degree 20 minute and 0 second, and the mean of that reading is 120 degree 20 minute and 20 second. After taking the both measurement mean, we are getting the accurate mean angle taken by the observer is called 120 degree 20 minute 25 second. Next method is repetition method. To measure the horizontal angle AOB, this method is used for very accurate work. In this method, the same angle is added several times mechanically, and correct value of angle is obtained by dividing the accumulated reading by number of repetition. The number of repetition made usually in method is 6 to 5. 3 with face left and 3 with face right. In this way, angle can be measured to the finer degree of accuracy than the obtainable with the least count of vernier. Repetition method. For repetition method, we have to set up the theodolite at starting point O and level it accurately. Measure the horizontal angle AOB, loosen the lever clamp and turn the telescope clockwise until the object A is sighted again. Bisect B accurately by using the upper tangent screw second time. The vernier will now read the twice the value of angle now. Repeat the process until the angle is repeated the required number of times. Generally, it is repeatedly by 3 times. After changing the phase, another repeating this procedure 3 times and getting the reading of different angles. Now see the table of repetition method. In the table shown that first we are taking the repeated angles 0 to 148 on vernier A. First C on vernier A is at 0 to 148. 148 is same. After that, now repeated that method and we are getting second reading 296. After that, another repetition we are getting 85. From that, we are getting all the readings and getting the mean, and we are getting the difference, and we are getting the difference is mean. So we are getting the accurate result by using the both phase and adding the number of repetition. Now we are moving to the reiteration method to measure the horizontal angle. This is the another precise and comparatively less tedious method of measuring the horizontal angle. It is preferred when several angles to be measured at a particular station. This method consists in measuring the several angles successively and finally closing the horizon at the starting point. The final reading of vernier A should be same as its initial reading. If initial reading and final reading are not same, the discrepancy is equally distributed among the all measured angles. For using the iteration method, we have to require to measure the angle AOB, VOC, COD by repetition method. For that, we have to set up the instrument A and level it properly. After that, we have to direct the telescope towards point A, which is known as referring object. Bisect it accurately and check the reading of vernier as 0 to 360 degree. Loose the upper clamp and turn the telescope clockwise to sight the point B. Read the vernier again and the mean reading will give the value of angle AOB. Similarly, bisect C and D successively and read both the verniers at each bisection. Find the value of angle BOC-COD. Finally, close the horizon by sighting towards the referring object. The vernier A should now read 360. If not, note down the error. These occur errors due to slip. If error is small, we have to equally distribute, and if error is larger, then reading should be discarded and new set of readings to be taken. Now see the table of horizontal angle measurements. See in the table is that we have to take the reading of both vernier in phase left, right, swing and clockwise, right? And we have getting the reading of vernier B, A and B. After that we are getting the mean of that both sets. After getting the mean of both sets, we are applying to correction equally and providing the corrected angles. Now we are moving to the vertical angle measurement. A vertical angle is an angle between the inclined line of sight and the horizontal. It may be an angle of elevation or angle of depression, according as the object is above or below the horizontal plane. See in the picture is that first figure shows the upward angle and downward or depressed angle measurement, and second figure shows that the elevated angle measurement, and third figure shows that depressed angle measurement. See how can we measure the angle of elevation. First, we have to set up the elevation at station point O, level it accurately with reference to altitude bubble, set the 0 to vertical vernier exactly to 0 of the vertical circle, clamp and tangent screw. Bring the bubble of altitude level in the central position by using the clip screw. The line of sight is made horizontal and vernier still reads 0. After that, we have to loosen the vertical circle clamp screw and direct the telescope or sight the telescope towards the object A and sighting it properly and fixing the vertical circle screw. After that, we have to read the both verniers of vertical circle. The mean of two vernier reading gives the value of required angle. Now change the phase and repeat the same procedure and getting the reading and get the mean of that value and another mean of that both sets of reading gives the accurate value of vertical angle measurement. Now that is the some of the example of vertical between 2 points A and B. After that we are moving to the reading a magnetic bearing of a line. How can we read the magnetic bearing of line? To find the bearing of line AB as shown is figure, we have to set up the instrument over A and level it accurately. First we have to set up the instrument over A and level it accurately. Set the vernier to 0 of the horizontal circle. Release the magnetic needle and loosen the lower clamp. Rotate the instrument till the magnet needle points to north. Now clamp the lower clamp with the help of lower tangent screw. Bring the needle exactly against the mark in order to bring it in magnetic meridian. At this stage, the line of sight will also be in a magnetic meridian. Now loose the upper clamp and point the telescope towards B with the help of upper tangent screw. Bisect B accurately and read both the verniers. The mean of two reading will be recorded as a magnetic bearing of line. After that, change the phase of instrument for accurate magnetic bearing of line and repeat the mean of the two value will give the correct bearing of line. Now we are moving to the methods of traversing. There have been four methods used for methods of traversing. First is the fast angle method, included angle method, direct angle method, and deflection angle method. In the fast angle method, there have been only at starting point the magnetic meridian is established. It is used to measure the magnetic bearings and traverse leg length. Angle between the lines are not measured. First, we have to set up the theodolite at P and set the vernier A is 0. Orient the theodolite along the north using the trough compass. Fix the lower clamp. Now use the lower tangent for fine adjustment. As vernier remains fixed with respect to initial setting of magnetic meridian, this method is known as magnetic bearing method also. After that, we have to loose the upper clamp and bisect the ranging rod at point Q. Fix the upper clamp and fine adjust using the upper tangent. Measure the fore bearing of PQ and back bearing SP from P. Set the theodolite at Q. Set the reading 40 degree. Unclamp the reading lower plate and bisect the P. Transit theodolite. For transit theodolite, by transiting the theodolite, release the upper plate, bisect R and measure the bearing setup theodolite at R with vernier 110 degree. Same process is repeated to get the fore bearing of RS. Same way, measure fore bearing of remaining side at the end of traverse FB and BB of SP should be differ 180 degree. Second method is the included angle method. It is the most commonly and more accurate than the fast angle. Magnetic bearing of any one line is measured. All included angles are measured. Bearing of all other lines are measured using the included angle and bearing of initial line. Now, procedure for included angle method is that first we have to set up the point P, vernier at 0. After we have to orient the theodolite along the north line using the trough compass. After that we have to measure the magnetic bearing of PQ. Against set the vernier 0, clamp the upper plate, loosen the lower plate and bisect T. Clamp the lower plate, release upper plate and bisect Q. Change the phase and record angle P. Similarly, measure the other angle by shifting the theodolites at Q, R, S and T. Second method is that direct angle method. This method is generally used for open traverse. And that method is similar to the included method. Set the instrument A and make a temporary adjustment to measure the bearing of AB. Shift the instrument at B level, set vernier A0, unclamp lower plate, bisect A and check A for 0. Loosen the upper plate, turn the telescope clockwise and bisect point C using the upper tangent screw. Read both the vernier and calculate angle ABC. Change the phase, proceed again. 7. Repeat the procedure, measure traverse line and locate the details. Next method is that deflection angle method. Angle by which the line is deflected from its horizontal direction is called deflection angle. It is suitable for open traverse like river, canal, road, etc. For that, we have to set up the instrument A leveled and measure the bearing of AB. Shift the instrument at B leveled, set vernier A to 0. After that, we have to back sighting the A and check vernier E is equal to 0. Now transit the theodolite and losing the upper plate and bisecting the ranging rod at C and measure the deflection angle theta 1. For measuring the theta 2, theta 3 and theta 4 and other angles, we have to adopt the same procedure for different angle measurement for prolonging the survey line or prolonging the different angles. Measure the length of traverse line and locate the details. Now we are moving to the closing error. If a closed traverse is plotted according to the field measurement, the end of point of traverse will not coincide exactly with the starting point due to the errors in the field observation. Such an error is known as closing error. The distance by which a traverse fails to close is known as closing error. If the error is within the permissible limit, it is adjusted, else we have to repeat it, the field work. For removing the closing error, we have some formulas. Closing error is equal to under root summation L square plus summation D square. Summation L is equal to summation of latitude and sum of departure. The direction of closing error is equal to tan theta is equal to sigma D by L. Latitude L of a line is its orthographic projection on NS axis representing the meridian. The distance measured parallel to the NS line. The departure of line is its orthographic projection on east-west axis perpendicular to the north-south axis. The distance measured parallel to the east-west line. If the projection of line towards the north, the positive latitude is called northing and negative latitude is called southing. If projection of line towards the east, the positive departure is called easting and negative departure is called westing. The formula for finding latitude and departure is equal to latitude is equal to L cos theta. For southing, we are adding the negative sign. For departure is equal to L sin theta and easting we are using the positive sign. Now we are calculating the closing error by using the northing and easting coordinates. As per the coordinates of points P and Q are as follows. Now see in the picture is that P is placed in the coordinate system at some here and Q is at some here. By approximately for understanding purpose, I am showing that picture P and Q. Now if you want to find the latitude of P and Q, we have to subtract latitude of P like direction as northing, we have to subtract the northing of P minus northing of Q. So 707.60 minus 581.50. So we are getting the change in difference in latitude. We can get the north axis difference of latitude 126.10. Same way we have to subtract the departure of P minus Q. 85.40 minus 42.20. So we can get the reading minus 338.80. For finding the length, we have to put in this formula for finding the length of PQ under root L square plus D square. So we can get the length 361.5 meter. For finding the bearing of PQ, that formula is generally called Pythagoras theorem, right? Or right angle triangle formula. Bearing of PQ is equal to theta is equal to tan inverse D by L. Tan inverse 338.80 minus 338.80 upon 126.10. So we can get the reading of 690 degree 35 minute and 5 second. After that, bearing reduced bearing of that line is equal to northwest, right? See in the picture is that 69 degree is come within the northwest coordinate, right? Here is the northwest coordinate, properly shown in this picture, but it is the northwest coordinate. So whole circle bearing of this line is equal to 360 minus northwest 69 350 minute and 5 second 29024.5.